I know historically not all college coaches have managed to do well in the NBA.
John Calipari, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, there's
EJ Carlissimo.
It's tough. It's tough for a lot of guys. But there have been some that have, and Dan Hurley's offense was far superior than anybody else's in college basketball this year.
Right.
Especially in that tournament. It was like jazz watching that team score the ball. My God. So then you start to wonder what he could do with the talent the Lakers got. And that's exciting. He has experience. He obviously comes from a coaching family and a background of coaching. He's been coaching a long, long time and has a vast amount of coaching experience at every level, besides the pros. So, I think it's a very interesting hire. I don't think it's a bad one either. I think it's exciting. He's got the personality and aura to it. He's a bulldog. That's a guy you could put in front of the camera. He doesn't mind it.
Well, I mean, we watched a lot of those UConn games this year, and you told me that you loved the way they was run. Those guys, the way they played together. I got
to wrap up with him a little bit this summer and have some conversations with him, and I enjoyed it. I think he's great. Yeah. I think he'd be phenomenal for the Lakers. He's
a longevity hire. This is not about AD and LeBron.
No, I think he'd be great for the Lakers. And again, I think JJ would be great too. I personally don't want that for JJ. Yeah. It's not a thing where I don't want JJ to get the job. I don't want JJ to have that job out of the respect I have for JJ. Nothing against the Lakers. I know how hot that seat would be for a guy who's first time coaching. They'd be judging him every second. Like JJ should be calling guys like Steve Nash and being like, guys who were in the hot seat, position 1, first year. It's very difficult to be in. It's like best case scenario, you win and everything works out. But if you don't even do that, it's like it's all downhill, bro. Like they're gonna torch you. You're in a very hot seat. I don't know how much credibility you would have had in the locker room knowing that you're LeBron's guy and y'all had a podcast together. They've historically fired even coaches that have won championships. They fired Frank Vogel a couple years after they won in the bubble, man. Like, that seat is very, very hot. The expectations are higher than ever. It's LeBron's last couple of years. There's a lot going on right now to where I think JJ needs to set his roots in LA and hold it down there. In my opinion, I think a young, talented coach like him should do what all these other talented coaches do, like when they build something somewhere and then end up being a fixture there, right? Like Pat Riley just didn't join like the hottest team in the league. Like he went down to Miami and they like built the culture out down there. You know what I mean? Dagnall is like down there in OKC and like the culture is being built with Sam Presti.
Yeah.
Missoula, Brad Stevens stepped away, hired a young coach. They found one in Missoula. They're on their way to probably winning a finals, but they've built that with a young coach. They're building him. They're going to double down with him soon, especially if they win. A contract extension it's going to be large and it's coming.
Right.
All right. So that's what these guys are doing with young, talented coaches. We're grabbing them. We're finding them. The Magic just did that with Coach Mosley. They're building something. Grab a young coach. JJ, go somewhere young where they'll, especially JJ with the prestige he has, right? This guy's getting president off GM looks and front office things and coaching, opportunities. The Raptors looked at him and Charlotte looked at him and the Lakers looked at him. You start to put yourself in a position where maybe like a team that's not as competitive throws like the keys at you and like lets you run with the organization.
Right.
I think like the Wizards or something like that, like I said before, is where I think JJ Redick should go. So we'll see what happens though.
You already told me that you think Dan Hurley, his personality is definitely one that would translate to the NBA, translate to professionals, because when you're acting like that with 18 to 22-year-olds, that's one thing. When you're doing it with LeBron James, Anthony Davis,
it would either work in his favor or the media would have their way. It's going to be one or the other because he's an unapologetic energy. He's right there in your face. I love it personally. I'm just telling you, I know other people in the media that are going to find a way, especially they're going to find a way anyway.
It's the Lakers job.
Darvin Ham used to like do nothing wrong, and they would just find out something in his press conference that they would pick at and poke at.
Right.
So they're definitely going to do it with a guy who's emotionally a little bit more out there.
Think about it. You're Dan Hurley, right? You win 2 titles in a row. You get the Lakers job. It's probably the top job. You already won 2 titles with UConn. You could take this job, get a crazy bag. You get to coach the Lakers, live in Los Angeles. If it doesn't work out, you go back to college. I promise you'll get whatever job you want. Right? The guy just won 2 titles.
Well, that will
always be there waiting for him.
And that's what I think people might be telling him now, because I think initially he's like, yo, I just won back-to-back titles here. I'm about to be like, this is my thing over here. And then people are also like, yo, bro, because you've already shown to be dominant at the college level and you know how to we know you know how to coach at this level, you can go take a crack at this one. You could go be Calipari and like go coach. And then like you see how they just come right back and like every program would want them because they know what you can do at this level already.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're not talking about you going to coach, New Orleans or Charlotte or whoever. Like the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James in his last couple competitive years is asking you to go see if y'all can win one together. You just get on the flight and you go. They're going to pay you whatever. It's going to be a lot of money. You go live in Los Angeles.
I mean, it's the highest job for basketball.
Man,
it's the highest of the
mountaintop. You got to take it. You got to take it.
You don't take this and you end up wanting to go to the NBA later on. It's not going to be the Lakers.
It'll never be this like this again. And you'll never be able to say you coach LeBron James. He also has a chance. And I'm not trying to like ride right now, but let's just call it for what it is. As a basketball savant to another, we both love the game. So does a guy like Dan Hurley. If you don't think he's sitting there like, I can go coach LeBron James, that sounds interesting, you're out of your mind. You know, Coach Anthony Davis, like, bro, I'm go coach the best basketball players in the world, especially arguably the greatest player of all time.
Right.
I'm going to pass up on coaching Jordan?
Yeah.
No.
And also, Dan Hurley gets to see that the Mavericks just made the finals, and he's like, you know what, man, this Lakers team, are they that much better than the Mavericks? That much better than the Lakers?
They're not.
That's what I'm saying. So even though the West is loaded, don't get me wrong, the West is loaded. If you're looking at, listen, if the Nuggets or Timberwolves, I know this is so unfair. If they made the finals, I'm like, okay, yeah, totally, I get it. Since the Mavericks, the 5 seed, made the finals, you could, as a Laker fan, as delusional as they are, you could say, hey, we're not that far. We're a Donovan Mitchell or a Trae Young away from being in the finals. So,
I mean, yeah, just think, every team right now saying Dallas go to the finals is thinking, okay, so we're right there.
Right.
Which just shows you how wide open the league is.
And it's unfair because we're not right there because Luka is potentially the best player in the world. So it's so funny that
could be delusional. Yeah. The only thing that's been clear is that Boston is by far the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
We'll see if Dallas can do something, but that's the one thing we do know as of right now, at least.
What do you think Dan Hurley taking this job with the Lakers, what does that say about the state of college basketball, that he was ready to just leave it like that? Like, Coach K could never leave, right? But the way college basketball is, and everyone talks about it with NIL and all these things, and now in Florida basketball, high school basketball, these kids get NIL deals.
A lot of these coaches don't even want to deal with that shit.
It is so tough now, probably, and it's such a weird, murky landscape. It's like the wild, wild west, that him leaving college basketball to go to the NBA, I think that says a lot about college basketball and where it's headed.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
And did you see that Florida passed a bill where the high school kids now can get NIL money?
Yeah.
Could you imagine when you were in high school what you could be getting? You with the hoop mixtapes and your games being on ESPN, number one player in the nation?
That would have been a lot of fun, man. But again, I've said this time and time again. In some ways, I'm like, man, I missed out on some cash. And then other ways, I'm just like, I preferred the way it went.
Your innocence was still there.
Yeah, I just liked, I wanted to make money when I made the league. That's when I wanted to get paid. Now, again, I was very privileged. I had parents who had bread already. I had a house over my head. I had food. I had a car. So I got to make that choice. You know what I mean? It's very naive for me to be like, players need to only get paid when they get to the pros. Like, bro, some of these people need help, man. And some of these kids, where else is the money going? It should be going to their pockets.
Great awareness on your end.
Yeah,
so understand that
you got to understand. You got to understand that, bro. There's a lot of guys out there who need that money right now. So I'm understanding of that. But yeah, you
just hope that the kid's hunger is still there.
That's the only reason I say anything in the first place is because sometimes when that success comes that early, we see how child stars pan out even in the movies. Too much success at a young age, man, it can alter a lot of things.
Any form of entertainment.
And it can alter not just the hunger, it alters things chemically, just inside you. People just move and think differently when they've had money before. Yeah. It's different when you have to make the mountaintop to get paid first. Now you're already at the mountaintop, you're up there.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? You're already competing and like you've been doing it for so long, that's code at that point. When you get money at a young age, a lot of these kids break code.
How are they going to listen to a high school coach when you make so much more money?
You got a high school coach making $30,000 and you got, a 15-year-old kid who has TikTok followers because he can dance in his locker room. He makes like $400K a year. It's like, it's just the landscape has changed. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just telling you there are causes and effects of this stuff. I love what the NIL's doing. I'm all for it. I'm not against it. The money's better in their pockets than somewhere else's where it shouldn't be. But I'm not about to sit here and act like there's not consequences and that the style of product of what we're getting in basketball right now has changed. There's a reason right now we are reaching so hard for prospects, right now. We're begging Cooper Flag pans out. He will. He's very talented. But like these drafts, the worst draft in a long time is this year. Next year doesn't look that much better. We just got Cooper and a couple other guys at the top, and then it gets a little murky again. And then like the next year's class, like and again, there's talent in each class. I know I could say that, but I'm just saying there is a concern there. All right. And the NIL could be very costly to our youth. Again, I'm for it. I'm not against it, but I just know there is, repercussions from it. That does worry me a little bit.
All right, Austin, on Tuesday, Clipped on FX dropped, and I need to talk to you about this casting. I just want your reactions. I'm just going to show you some pictures. I just want your initial reaction and then a 1 out of 10 rating on the casting. Is that cool?
Let's do it.
All right, first, we got
This is
Doc
ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And let me tell you something. First off, Lawrence Fishburne is a legend. Big fan. He's an absolute legend, and he's a great actor. So his acting in this was great. But the body of my father is just a little bit different. I'm not saying he's 100% in shape, but he's built a little bit different than Lawrence Fishburne. We could have done a little bit of little AI or something there, a little CGI.
Sure. So 1 out of 10, what are we giving it?
This 1 out of 10, I would give it I'll give it a 6. It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's just like he's a
Not
little
bad.
small and heavy, and my dad's not like some like smaller, pudgier dude, but like, it's not that bad.
All right, let's go to the next one. Stephen Curry.
This is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That is Stephen Santiago. I don't know. I don't know who that's like third baseman for the Padres. Who the hell is that guy?
Are you
My friend next to
Are
me just
you-
said Steph Blurry.
are you more offended by this because the 6 degrees of separation
that's
between you and
that's
Steph Curry?
That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 2.
2? All right,
That's a 2.
great. Let's go on to the next one. Your former teammate, Blake Griffin.
That dude, that's like a 3, man. That's not good, bro. And I know that Blake Griffin's like an impossible, like, how do you find a fake Blake? You're not going to find someone that looks just like Blake.
So out of 10, what are you giving this?
That's like a 3, man. That's bad, bro.
So can I also toss this at you? What if they just cast Blake Griffin? Like,
Or his brother or somebody. Like, again,
of all the people they cast, this one was probably the toughest, so I gave him some slack.
yeah, that's
But
what I'm
let's keep
saying.
going.
I'll give this a 5. I'll give this a 4. I'll give this a
You're
4
rating
because it just doesn't look like Blake, but Blake is a hard find. So
You're rating it on a
I'll
curve.
give them that
That's totally
benefit of the
fine.
doubt.
Yeah.
Stephen
Okay, next one.
Santiago is still the worst.
Next one. Can you tell who that is if I don't tell you who it is?
That is my local AC man, Frederick. Who is this? Who the hell is that?
This is Chris Paul.
Do you know what's shocking is these dudes look like they don't even play basketball even at their local LA Fitness, let alone the LA Clippers.
So you're not a fan of this Chris Paul casting? We give him a 3?
No.
his number?
That's a 2.
All right. Next up, going back to the Warriors, we have Draymond Green.
This almost feels racist. I don't even like. Why does his neck look like that? Why does he have no neck? Or is that just the angle of the photo?
I think he's shrugging like in this actual photo.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
all
think
right. Because it looks like it's just stuck there. But this is like a 6.
Okay, higher than I thought you'd give it. That's fine.
I mean,
now we're going to
it doesn't look like Draymond, but who's that?
check the number. Let's see if you can figure it
Oh
out.
wow. Okay. Well, that's supposed to be Clay.
Yeah, Klay Thompson.
Give that a 5.
Really?
It doesn't look like Clay at all, but like it's like a clean cut,
Okay.
light skinned guy. It could fare a little bit.
All right.
I'll give it a 5.
Going back to the Clippers. We're almost done. Do you know who that is? Without me telling you,
And then not Chris Paul.
DeAndre Jordan.
Well, that's just ridiculous. That's a 0. There's no effort in this. That looks nothing like DJ. First off, those don't even pass his braids. Someone looks like someone has 5 burnt Twizzlers on his head. Those things aren't even, there's no way those are braids, bro. Pausha, there's no hang time on them. They don't even go past his ears. That's nuts. They're like little strips of hair just peeled back on his head. That's not DeAndre. Right. DeAndre had full-on dreads.
So this is a -3 for you. -3. All right. 2 more. You know who that is?
That's supposed to be Jamal Crawford. It looks nothing like him. He's way too much hair Jamal Crawford for one. Jamal had like a bald fade. That's like a full head of hair. It looks like Sean Combs' son. I don't even know who that is. That is ridiculous.
I hope you're ready for this last one, because when I saw it in the show, I was genuinely shocked because I didn't know who this was.
There's no way that's Big Baby.
It's Big Baby Glenn Davis.
Yeah, I could tell that's Big Baby. Obviously, he's a heavier set guy. Big Baby was the only heavy set guy in the team or in the league. So, that one kind of goes without saying. I'd give that one like a 7. That's like a 7 or 8. It doesn't look like Big Baby at all, but like he's a heavy set big guy. Just throw one of those guys out there.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Last question for you. Are you at all disappointed so this story took place the year before you got there? Are you disappointed you don't get to see who they cast as you?
I'm cool. I'm good.
All right.